because you cannot, in this day and time, when election and political dynamics have changed from where people need to stuff ballot box, run away with it and grab it, you need candidates that have momentum, that have public appeal, that have, that have organic depth of support, that have to be able to go into the ballot so that you have the, or go onto the ballot so that you have the opportunity to remove the current government. And you know that the kind of information that was put here to say that it must be not. What defeated Jonathan, it wasn't just about the fact that the North felt that it was their turn from 2011-12 to build up to 2015, and they felt that it was their turn and that they must try to be part of it. And that would not even see happen without the implosion in the PDP, where you have people from River State, you have people from Imo, people from Kwara like Saraki and Co, who now eventually left the PDP. So the only way to defeat this current government is to have a candidate that will have the capacity to do so. And you can't come and put innuendos and rhetoric outside, so it must be the North, pursuing generalization statement on general terms without specifically stating what candidate you think should be that. For me, I think that candidate should be Peter Obi.
Yes, my people, as the halt, it don't happen. No, this is a big win for Peter Obi, and this is a stepping stone for Peter Obi to become the president of Nigeria. And because Northerners don't begin to come outside small, don't they talk, say Peter Obi is the best candidate for this ADC and for the coalition people they do. Coalition.
Candidate that have moved that goes around from state to state, that move from Jigawa to from Abuja to Kafasha to Kaduna, even to Olamaboro in Kogi State, and I've been to several technical institution, nursing school. We can't have people who are not showing compassion, who are not showing that they have the capacity to be able to know the terrain of this country. Because the problem we have put people in government who have not been able to even know what is the route that link between Ogugu to Enugu. What is that road? People don't travel, they travel on shop. But I have seen a candidate. I will not come to do a statement on that I will not mention name of those I think that can win this thing. And if you look at the last election, there was no political entrenchment. There was no political structure. People say, oh, there are 3 people tweeting in one room. There are no governors, there are no senators. But that election, Obi has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he has the public, the people have interest in him, because it's about the messaging, it's about the acceptance, because you can be popular and then you go to the ballot and there's no result, but people accept you. That's why your popularity translates into vote. So you look at the Southern election that was conducted, despite the fact that APC was in control of the structure in the entire south of our country. If PDP was in control of, within the south, PDP was in control of Delta. In that Delta, they had a vice presidential candidate for the PDP, and Atiku won the vote. Peter Obi won the vote there over 80%. You have the Southern election statistics where Peter Obi had 44.5%, Atiku had 19.4%, Tinubu had 35.5%, and Kwakwaso had 0.48%. Where he defeated every candidate that participated in the South. And when you come to the North, he had a substantial share. You have to take away the rigging, because the people say, oh, he didn't win the election. People are claiming he won the election. We need to go to the IRF and see that there are a lot of irregularities, a lot of forged results that were posted there. And if you look at the BBC report, expose done on River State, including Premium Times, you will find out that Peter Obi defeated every other candidate in River State. These are data that are verifiable, that you can reach out to. We can't just sit down and then come to station and then try to put up candidates that are not going out there to sell themselves, to go around to connect with Nigerians, to show compassion to people who are going through crisis, like what happened in Makwa, and then we go and elect candidate again that will now start to draw Nigerian back.
Okay, Mr. Peter Amit, thank you so much for that, and I also appreciate that you're making it very clear where you stand and where your support lies. And it seems it's obvious that you're supporting a rematch, if I may call it that, a rematch of 2023 to be replayed in 2027. You've mentioned issues of irregularities from the electoral umpire. But from a political standpoint, what are the strategic errors that you feel need to be rectified for this rematch to have a different outcome from what we saw in 2023? Because many people continue to analyze and say that, well, if Peter Obi and Atiku could have come together, it would have been a formidable force and the outcome would have been obvious. But it looks like Atiku is interested in that ticket as well. Peter Obi is interested in the ticket. We have an incumbent. What are the permutations that need to change for this rematch to have a different result?
They were both together in 2019, and if you look at the build-up to 2023 election, there were new voters, and if you look at the registration done by INEC, there were a lot of new voters that came on board, and these voters came on board because they saw a reason to be able to participate in the election. And there were a lot of hopes too that this election data will be hosted on IRF. And this IRF, and look, voter cast at the polling unit, accreditation done at the polling unit. Nigeria has one of the best electoral framework. But the fact is that it's the human interference that is actually hindering us from having proper data that will be reliable. But if you want to say it's a rematch, Tinubu will be at a disadvantage because those votes that were that was registered that were not the exact numbers of votes called are also there who are going to tackle them, because people don't want to look at facts. They say, no, why are you saying this? Look at Lagos election. We have seen on station where when we started going to court, the data that was presented from EC8A, because you have what they call from EC8A, which is given to each polling unit agent of political parties. You have from EC8B that now you record the final electoral result. The PDP has the complete data of that result in Lagos that reflect the fact that Obi scored be far above 500,000 votes. So this our election, for us to get it right, I have actually put out before that you can look at sections of the Constitution, section 105, subsection 1, section 64, subsection 1, and you can look at other sections, section 178, subsection 2, and look at those sections, and then make sure that we have our election all conducted in one day. If we have all this election conducted in one day, it will reduce the voter apathy, it will reduce the fatigue on INEC, it will reduce the cost of conducting the election, and that will also help for us to go. And for that this rematch to also be successful, you need somebody that can actually match Tinubu in the south, because you don't want to create Southern solidarity like what you created Northern solidarity in the build up to 2015 election, because there's no way any one region can decide the fate of our presidency. And we have tried to reach, Obi has tried to reach all parts of this country, working to show the interest that yes, education is very key and very important. If a nation must grow, if a nation must develop, and you look at the investment in healthcare. Right now we have an healthcare system that our president cannot even go to the hospital 2 weeks before Buhari left office. 21 billion naira was invested in the ASO clinic. Weeks, and it was the place. There was a ceremony to open up that place, but nobody's using it today. So we have a situation where we need to have people who believe in the system, people who know the system, who have traveled across length and breadth of this country by road to know what the people are feeling. And I see Obi doing that on every weekly basis, except it's not in this country. Okay. So we must connect those dots, and I will not hide behind one finger to say, oh, it must be south. I have narrowed it from south to Peter Obi.
Okay. Truth is, so that means you're an Obi man. Let's just get it was for all, you're an Obi man. But what about the arguments? People like, Hello, can you hear me? I said, what about the arguments? Okay. What about the arguments people like this person make, Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, by saying that Obi cannot make inroads in the core north? And that's why he says he favors a northern candidate, so that we can have it split down the middle, so that there's a southern candidate and there's another candidate. I said Obi cannot make inroads in the core north. I didn't win a lot of the votes in the north the last time around, and you need somebody that the north will be able to hold on to, as it were. And he said that having the south together, there's going to be if you have two candidates in the south, there's going to be a split of votes. But if you have the north, a northern candidate, then the north will collectively stand behind somebody, and the south will stand behind their candidate, and they are going to merge them. In fact, let me be honest with you, the thought of me talking about this on national TV makes me feel very stupid in this country, that after many years of independence, we still talk about north and south rather than development and people that are competent and they have character. So I feel very stupid this morning, but either way. So what's your take to that argument?
Sincerely, Rufai, I must agree with you that it's embarrassing that we're still talking about North and South, that it should be based on competence, merit, and ability to perform. But the take is that there are data that they are putting out that is not really representing the true interest of the North. You can't say that the North, for instance, I do not agree. I know what Obi scored in Kaduna in the last election. It's 294,000 votes and 2 hours of rep in Kaduna. And I know what is called in Plateau. So the North is not what is, and his analysis is showing. The fact that Obi could even take 15.2% vote in the North without the kind of structure that was put in place, without proper preparation 6 months into the election, the North is not as monolithic as he has come to define it. The fact is that we must be able to see that the North has gone beyond those rhetorics that he's putting out. Look at 2011 election result, when the North decided and committed to the fact that it was their turn. The CPC won almost the state in the North. Ribadu won in Oshu. Jonathan won the whole South and took the North Central. So the best option for a country like us to grow forward is for people to stop coming to television station and insisting that the North will not support Obi. That is a wrong. I'm from the North. I'm from Kogi State. What part of the North is he talking about? I ran in the last election. I saw how a gun was pointed at me in my own local government, in my own